From Tally to Cali.
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by
Vitamin Energy. The vitamins. The energy.
Now here's Warchant.com's Azan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark. Come get some! It's live! It's Wake Up Warchant, presented by Vitamin Energy. It is Miami week. Thank you.
Hate week, right? It's hate week.
If you got hate in your heart, let it out. I think a famous man once said. Thanks for being here. I'm Azan Hajavandi, joined by Corey Clark, senior writer, lead writer for warchant.com. I can't wait to read his column after the Noles take down number 3 Miami Saturday night, Doak Campbell Stadium at 7:30. We are live. This is the Friday program for a lot of people listening afterwards. Hopefully we'll see a lot of those faces over at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill during our live meet and greet at 5 p.m. on Friday. So coming out to the CP hangout, we'll talk about the game, try to save my voice or try to learn to project my voice inside of a loud, boisterous place like the Corner Pocket when Miami's in town, Corey, without losing my voice. I'm not doing a good job of showcasing this. Clean, right?
Yeah, sure.
Brand new Nike Warchant Vitamin Energy branded polos.
Okay.
Not available for purchase. But
just for bragging.
But for the first 3 folks, since we're playing the third-ranked Canes, for the first 30 people that email me an order from vitaminenergy.com of 2 boxes at least or more, I'll give them a polo, Corey. We'll send them a polo on us over at Warchant.com.
All right, man. Those do look sharp now. Those look nice.
They are. If you're bigger boned, you're probably are going to be better served. Not a lot of mediums, a lot of XLs, a lot of double XLs, but we'll figure it all out for you folks. Thanks for being here, Corey. Nice surroundings, not or your usual setup. Where are you tapping in from?
This is my guest room. It looks nice, right? You like what I've done with the decor and the bed frame? I'm in a Embassy Suites in Fort Myers, Florida. Actually, Estero, Florida, I guess, just a little bit outside Fort Myers for a baseball tournament. So yeah, we got that going for us.
Okay. Well, postseason baseball,
No, just a travel baseball tournament. Just the one travel ball they have this year in the fall, and so I was down here with my son. So he played a game on Wednesday. Oh no, sorry, on what's today? Thursday?
Correct.
Golly, it's already Thursday. We're almost there, man. He played a game on Thursday and then plays another one Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I'll only be there for tomorrow, Friday morning's game, and then I'm heading back up to Tally for the big one.
Gotcha. Again, we're brought to you by Vitamin Energy. Shake it and take it. warchantbogo, your promo code. Buy one, get one free. It's so good once it hits your lips, everybody. vitaminenergy.com, shake it and take it. warchantbogo, the promo code. Look at all these new members on the YouTube side. Steve Matthews, I almost said Shane Matthews. Right. Derek Morris. We got Brad Elliott. I feel like BF Knowles has been around for a minute, but apparently says he's a new member. Amy Weininger.
I think that's probably right, yeah.
And then Corey Wright.
Okay. Doesn't spell Corey correctly, but still, that's a great name. Great first name.
Let's start it off with, we got our guy Andrew behind the scenes checking out some of the questions so we know what to talk about. Our guy Matthew Ogles wants a ruling here, Corey. When we beat Miami, do you think we should storm the field or should we not? It would be taking down the number 3 ranked rival. And then, well, not the number 3 ranked rival, the number 3 team in the nation that happens to be your arch rival.
I mean, no, not really, but I'm not going to keep people from going and having fun. If that's fun, be safe about it. Don't swarm them like Squirrel White got swarmed in Charlottesville, but
make a play then. Make a play, Miami, and we won't swarm you. Just make a play.
That's right. Give the Noles no reason to swarm the field. I would say I would harbor this that if Florida State wins,
or you just want to harbor it. Do you
I'm
not
going to hazard
it out there into the world, or do you want to hazard?
I'm going to hazard this one. Sorry, God, what a weird tick I have. It would be the first time in college football history that a team had stormed the field twice and had the field stormed upon them. That just doesn't happen. Florida State doesn't storm the field typically anyway, But to go from 2-10, where you beat, an Alabama team, so you feel like you need to storm the field. Next thing you know, you're so highly ranked that when somebody beats you, even after coming off 2-10, they're storming the field on you. And then the very next week, you get a chance to storm the field. I don't know, man. Just be safe if you're going to do it. I don't police these things. I think Florida State should probably be above storming the field, but that's just my personal opinion. Go have fun.
Scott Beckett. Hey, Corey. Can you use your influence and get the all whites banned? Seems like nothing good happens with those uniforms.
They're the icy whites, Scott. They're icy. What are you talking about? They're smooth and icy. Look, I would say this. I love the white uniforms, just not a fan of the helmets. I think the helmet should be the same. I don't mind, although it's a little too white. If you go back and look at so one of the most famous games in Florida State history is the punt Ruski from 1988 with Dion returning the punt, and then obviously Leroy Butler on the punt Ruski that helped win the game. Those are white uniforms, and I think they look sharp, man. I think they look sharp. But with the white helmet, it's got kind of a stormtrooper look, and it's clearly not good luck. I just like the traditional uniforms, I'll be honest with you. I'll try my best to get them white, get the whites banned, but I can only do so much. Hope maybe losing to Charlottesville will be enough. Maybe you just stick with your own uniforms. Look at those. Don't those look – those aren't nearly as, like, bright white.
Because there's contrast. There's piping on the sides. There's just – we're wearing pajamas. It's just a white top, white pants, and a white helmet with a spear on it.
If they could go back to that, what's wrong with that? Plus, you got the gold helmet. I mean, I think that's a sharp look, man. You're right. The trimming on the side gives it the contrast it needs. Yeah. That's what you guys tune in for, our uniform takes. But yes, I'm not a big fan of the white on white with the white helmet.
Yeah, I'm trying to maybe pull up the Greg Jones game.
Oh, yeah, that was white on white, too. The 2003 North Carolina game.
And those pants had 2 garnet stripes down the side. I remember because that was like the first time they brought back white pants in forever. And I was like, these are great. Like, I like those a lot. I actually did find a photo. Shout out to the Google machine. I'll try to pull it up.
Look at Aslan doing this producing on the.
There we go. Our guy Lorenzo Booker. Look at that. That's sharp.
I like it.
The gold helmet. It's gold. Where's the gold?
It's perfect. That's a great look. I think people would be fired up with that look, right? Yeah. They'd be okay with it. It's the all wicey. That's what they should call it, the wicey hot. The icy hot or ice bath, whatever they call those things. Not great look either. They don't do well in them. I don't think. Just, you got a really cool. You're not Oregon. Let me put it to you another way. You're not Oregon. You don't need all the uniform combinations. You have the best one in the sport. Michigan's not doing whiteouts. Michigan's not doing icy whites. They just use their uniforms. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do.
No. I mean, they might wear white on white, but they have like blue piping on the side.
Yes, and they also don't wear a white helmet.
Yeah, listen, honestly, this goes back to, this is controversial. Like, I'm not a fan of garnet on garnet. You need something there differently. But let's just, garnet, gold pants, gold helmet. That's just, it's the way we roll for a long time. Lee Corso, been a legend for a long time. Our guy Wes in the Villages asked, have you heard anything more specifically about honoring the Sunshine Scooter, Lee Corso? And I think the FSU football account tweeted this out earlier, Corey. They're going to have a day full of celebrations and an in-game recognition for our guy, Coach Corso. So I don't know exactly. Why was Ken Griffey here?
It's a good question. His kid, maybe? Was his kid a player on one of the teams? Maybe?
I don't remember. But, dude, speaking of not remembering, I don't know why, but the 2012 Miami-Florida State game has been like ear-holed out of my memory. Some guy ran on the field in that game. Miami opened the second half with an onside kick in that game. Don't recall any of it. Not one iota.
2012, that would have been in Miami.
Yeah. It was a Timmy Jernigan suplexes, body slams the Miami lineman game.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I feel like Florida State won comfortably, but I don't. You know what I remember about that game? Chris Thompson.
That's 2010, I think. I think that's
it was 2012 where Chris Thompson tore his knee up on a screen pass.
All right, well,
2010 was when he had the back-to-back long runs. 2012 was when he tore his ACL up.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll click on the link. I'll see what it says.
And I assume they're going to be honoring Lee Corso in Tuscaloosa for the big Alabama Vanderbilt game, since he's a College Game Day legend, and that's where College Game Day deemed they should be instead.
It's a really well done website, by the way, but there's no specifics on like when on the end game and what else they plan on doing for Coach. But yeah, I mean, it'll be a fun weekend, man. There's a lot going on. Jimbo Fisher's in town. I'm going to hang out with him tomorrow for a little bit. So all the legends.
Yeah, that's right.
All the legends.
All the FSU greats.
That's right. That's right. What else we got here? Get down or lay down. I think his name is Kyle. It's been a while since we've heard from Kyle, I feel like. Is he still in Carolina, Kyle? He says he watched the breakdown on how the Cavs expose our defense. I really hope Coach Tony White can answer the counters that Virginia put on tape.
Yeah, I have not gotten a chance to watch it yet. He's talking about the D-Rob segment that he did, Deuce Robinson's dad, which is what he's known as now, which is funny. Sorry, Dominic, don't have such a talented kid. But Deuce Robinson's dad, Dominic, who played at Florida State obviously 20 years ago and was a good player, broke down. He's an X's and O's guy for us, and he broke down what Virginia did to I don't want to say expose, but to perform well against Tony White's defense. And look, man, every defense, if you have good enough players, especially if you have a veteran offensive line, you can find some mismatches and you can find some things to expose. It's a matter. So Miami's going to have a plan. Florida State's going to have a plan for that plan, and then it's who adjusts better as the game goes. Or if you just can't, in some cases, if you just can't block it up, and I don't think that'll be the case Saturday, Miami's got a good offensive line, but sometimes it doesn't matter what you do, scheme-wise or not, you're just overmatched. This will not be one of those. I do not think either one of these sides of the ball is going to be overmatched.
Yeah, if you check out on YouTube, you just look up Warchant, just type in Warchant 22 because it's the all-22 film.
Yeah.
You will see this thumbnail, and then you'll see Tom Lang and Dominic Robinson giving you the lowdown on what happened there. So check that out at the conclusion, or open it up in another tab right now so it's ready to go.
Yeah,
when we sign
and they'll
off.
break down specific plays. It's not just them talking, although that's good enough, but they'll use specific examples of plays to show you what Virginia did.
Bang! Let's go, Ray Pereira.
Bang! Bang! What?
200 in the jar. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you very much, Ray. So you think Ray's coming to the game?
He said he can't make it to this one.
Oh,
so
come on, Ray.
Come on, buddy.
Let's go, man. This is going to be a big one. It's a big one.
Thank you, Ray. You're awesome. Incredible.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you sincerely.
Sorry that Corey didn't say what's up when he was over in Biloxi a few weeks ago, but, Corey's a busy guy. Got a lot of things going on.
I was too busy hitting that royal flush for 1200.
Is that a true story?
Yeah. On Pie Gal, yeah, it was a $5 bet, and I hit a royal flush and won $1,200. Pie Gal, that's the beauty. That's the game, everyone. Forget craps, all that fun they're having over there. Go play, blackjack. The dealer's always going to end up hitting 21. He'll not hitting, but like getting a 21. It'll be 2, 6, 5. What do I need now? An 8? Oh, there's an 8. Sorry, 21 for me. But yeah, Pie Gal is just a beautiful game. But yeah, I hit a straight flush, so that was fun.
The top 3 tacklers versus the Cavaliers, he says, were secondary players, which is true. Earl had 13, Jabril had 11, Shaim had 9.
Yep.
No bueno. Front 7 needs a step up as Carson Beck likes the short game. Go Noles.
Yeah, so when I talk, and that's a very good point, Ray. We didn't bring it up enough. I've talked about Earl Little having 13 tackles, and that's a great number for him, but also not a great number for your defense when your safety that's what is that? 33 tackles between those 3 guys? That's not great. And look, that's what when I think about what this program could be, and maybe this is the year. Maybe they're about to go on a run and win a national championship. I just you have solid players in a front 7. You don't, other than Darrell Jackson, I'm not sure you have a surefire Aslan second day pick. Like, I think Darrell's a second-day pick probably, maybe a first-day pick, but I would assume a second-day pick somewhere in there. I don't know that you have another one in that front 7. That's where you get another year with this coaching staff, another year of evaluating guys in the portal, evaluating guys in your own team, developing a Desir brother or two and a Kevin Wynn. Maybe you have real NFL talent in that front seven, maybe getting better than just solid linebackers. But, yeah, I think that's the weakness of this team. I think it was mitigated a little bit by the way they played against Alabama, how hard they played and kind of sending guys backwards, and it was the quarterback's first start. But against good offenses, especially guys that are talented, that's a talented offensive line. That's not a great matchup, that front seven. They're going to have to play their rears off to slow down, to stop that Miami offense. And I don't think Miami's offense is great. You just know they're going to try to be a battering ram and ram their running game all over you. So let's hope to phrase something completely oddly. That's never been – nobody's ever uttered that phrase in their life. That's what you wonder about. And as this program gets better, I think the secondary's got some NFL guys in it. I don't know about the front seven. That's where you hope better evaluation, better skill development, better development in general. You start loading this roster up with guys up front that are real dudes.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You feel like these linebackers are going to have to really, be on their keys to slow down Miami's run game because that's what they want to establish first and foremost. But then, you cheat up a little bit, you go play action. I'm not even so much worried about stuff over the top, although Malachi Toney's proven to be a pretty big play threat for them. But just
middle of the field, crossing routes,
crossing stuff. It's just like that's tough. And listen, Elijah Herring, was in the frame of some of those Virginia touchdown passes that happened in the second half, and it's just a tough ask for these guys to not only keep up with these receivers, but then also have to, stay integral to stopping the run game. But also the same thing applies for Miami, right? And I think Florida State is more likely to go over the top than Miami is if those, those guys start creeping up into the box a little closer than they want to be.
And I'll say that I don't think the linebackers are great, clearly. I don't think the front seven is great. Well, there aren't many schools that have greatness everywhere. You can still win with a above average or average front seven. You have to win games like this, maybe a little bit unconventionally, much like Virginia did. Let's go ahead and admit it. Virginia doesn't have a great front seven by any stretch. And Florida State put up 500 yards of offense and lost. You can still give up some yards, give up some points, and find a way to win these games. Just because they have a bit of an advantage, or maybe more than a bit, their front five versus your front seven, your front, doesn't mean you can't win the game. Fumbled snaps happen, Aslan. I've seen quarterbacks fumble snaps and kick them my whole life. Carson Beck can do that. Get lucky. Get a little bit lucky. Also play well. The linebackers aren't probably NFL guys, but if they play well, just play well. Play above what you've shown so far, and you give your team a real chance to win.
No one really ever talks about, at least down here, and I don't remember what year it was. Maybe it was 2018 or so. But when Michigan lost to Michigan State, when the game was over, they just had to pump the ball, right? And they couldn't even properly catch the ball and then punt it away with whatever time was left. And then they flubbed it. Michigan State scoops and scores it and wins. So, yeah, man, maybe something crazy like that's in the cards for the Noles.
I have a funny story about that real quick before you go. That was the same year as Georgia Tech blocking the kick and running it back against Florida State. And the reason I remember that is because I wrote a story about how smart Jimbo Fisher is, that one of his teams would never have something like that happen. I even asked him, how do you, when you're just trying to punt the ball, how do you not let that happen? Because it was a year or two removed from the kick six. Yeah. And I'm like, so what are you thinking there as a coach? How do you prevent that from happening? And he's like, well, you want to get some athletes out on the edge just in case. Just in case they pick it up. You don't want them. You can't have a bunch of 300-pounders that can't move. You got to have some athletes. And then go look at that. Go look at the guys that were on the field where that Aguayo blocked the field goal. I'm not even blaming Jimbo. I'm blaming myself for jinxing him. I shouldn't have ever written that story.
That jinx Renegade before the 16 Orange Bowl.
It's just what I do, man. It is what I do.
Hopefully he jinxed the Canes with his pick on the Warchant report.
That's right. I don't see how Miami doesn't win by 50. Good
Aaron
luck, Canes.
P. Aaron P is in the house.
Dollar bills, y'all.
$10. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Aaron, I think, is one of our brave law enforcement officers.
What a great way to start a message.
He says, I just finished serving a warrant and made sure I was done in time to hear you guys.
Thank you,
talk
Aaron.
Trash of my Miami fan SWAT teammates on the truck. They aren't ready for the whooping Saturday. Let's effing go.
Amen. Aaron, be safe out there, buddy.
Yeah. Appreciate that. That's incredible. I hope he really was like looking at his watch. Like, can we
get this going? The boys are about to be on. The boys are about. That's really funny. By the way, I would suggest everyone, and I've mentioned this before on the show, maybe once a month, probably once a year, honestly, is enough. Go down a rabbit hole on YouTube of body cam footage of what police officers. Now, look, there's other stories too, but what police officers have to deal with on a daily basis. It is unbelievable the people just that you come across, and it's just unbelievable. So go find some, not gruesome. I'm not talking about gruesome. I'm just talking about knocking on a door because somebody had a complaint, and see where it goes from there. Somebody not leaving a barbershop because they don't like their haircut. Unbelievable what they deal with.
You're going to like the way you look. You're going to like the way you feel when you show up to the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, everybody. Come on out. Tomorrow, again, Friday, meet and greet at 5 p.m. Corey's going to be there. Ira is
maybe a little after 5. I should point that out. I am driving back from Fort Myers. Yeah. Brady's game is at 8 a.m, which is just awesome. What a wonderful way to spend my Friday morning, getting up at 6:30 to go watch baseball and then immediately hitting the road. So I might be there at 5, might be closer to 6. We'll see.
We're going to try to get, if we're doing injury designations, which we'll get to here in a second. I think our guy, can we say Ira's probable or questionable? We'll put Ira at questionable.
I think he's probable because he showed up before the Alabama game and they won. And
right.
Ira cares about that kind of stuff. He knows, he's superstitious.
Yeah. I'm sure Gene might even roll up, and I know Tom's going to be there probably as well.
I think Jeff has to be in Cairo for a high school football game, but the rest of the boys will be there.
Yeah, come on out, Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Have a Corey wrap while you're hanging out with Corey the day before he does the Vitamin Energy Warchant wrap. Everybody,
or the corn dog bites. I'm telling you, Aslan. The corn dog bites, I'm way too addicted to those things now.
Tub butter.
Oh, nice.
Does Gameday avoiding Tallahassee give any validity to any influence they may have actually had?
Read it again, Aslan. I think he wrote that correctly. Read it again.
There's this icon that blocks.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
I can read over here. Does Gameday avoiding Tallahassee give any validity to any influence they may actually have over decisions that are made in the sport? Does any guilt keep them away?
No, I don't think so. I did hear this. What's the guy's name? Is it Bear? The Bear?
Chris
yeah.
Felica? Yeah.
So he was on Russillo's podcast. It was actually funny. Russillo, right when he was wrapping up, was like, "Hey, I got to ask you a question, just out of my curiosity." I'm like, "Oh, he's about to bring up Gameday. Why Gameday isn't there?" And then it was something else about it was about ranking stadiums, that the Fox Sports college football Twitter account had ranked like the top 10 stadiums in the country, and they were all, of course, Big Ten schools. And then, so when they were done with that, after like 10 minutes, Facilica was that his name? Facilica? Felica was like, "I thought you were going to ask me why Gameday's not in Tallahassee." And Russillo's like, "Yeah, that's a good point. I was kind of surprised by that too." And he said he didn't give a good answer. His answer was a hemmed and hawed, made no sense. He did say that he thought maybe they were worried, which is nonsense, but maybe they were worried because it was a night game, that the crowd outside the Gameday set wouldn't be all that lively at 8:39 in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning when the game is 10 hours away.
Nah, that hasn't stopped them. Listen, I was
going to say, weren't they in Penn State last week? And that was a night game. So, but that was his theory. But they both seemed a little surprised, I'll be honest. And then Russillo did say, "Hey, by the way, when it's rocking, Tallahassee is about as good as it gets as a venue." And they both agreed. So that was, at least they talked up Florida State there.
Listen, I'm sure ESPN's got what they call like ESPN global security. They probably would have had to bring a couple more people down here.
Yeah.
I'm sure that factored in. So, but hey, at some point it'll be water under the bridge, but we have not quite reached that point yet. I'm hoping this will drop while we're on air, but I don't think it will, because it's 48 hours before the game, and the game's at 7:30, and we're still probably we'll be signed off by them. But B. Ryder's asking for an injury report. Who's in, who's out versus Miami.
While we don't have it yet, right, Aslan? We'll get it tonight. And what a cool world we live in where we'll get an injury report tonight. Yeah. Might not be in the next 35 minutes or whatever, but man, we're living a good life. College football is now requiring injury reports. That's good stuff.
I think I would say like Kevin Wynn's going to be.
Come on, man.
I am going to. Y'all go back and watch the Alabama game. I know. Listen, James Williams affected the pocket a lot.
The second half, I thought he played really well. The problem is, look, man, he's not going to be a good run defender. He's not a big guy. He's a big guy for like planet Earth. For hanging out with buddies at a bar, he's a big guy. But for college football defensive lineman, he's not. And he's gonna be run at. That's part of the deal when you're a edge rusher. That's kind of a speed guy. He's not Jared Verse. He can kind of be pushed out of the way. You've got to make adjustments for that. If he's getting pushed out of the way, you've got to fill somewhere else. But he's got to be better. I'm not saying he doesn't have to be better, but he never came in saying I'm going to be a run stopper. Like that's not his goal. His goal is to get to the quarterback. He did have 6 pressures against Alabama, but no sacks. He had 3 against Virginia. I don't quite remember them. But you're right. In the second, he was awful that first drive against Alabama. They ran right at him. After that, I thought he bowed his neck. He was not good against Virginia. Let's see how he responds, because I thought he responded really well in the second half of that Alabama game. Now that he's become, kind of the poster boy for that loss, it'll be really interesting how he plays on Saturday. There is a chance he plays really well. He's the defensive lineman of the week.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I mean, I understand. Like I was tweeting out all the scores on Twitter, and I saw like the comments about James Williams, but like I don't remember like that just being like this egregious performance from him. But he's been catching a lot of heat, and I defended him 30 seconds ago, but he did say when he got here, like his goal is to be a complete football player, be a 3-down, a 3-down lineman for them. So yeah, I got a little tougher at the point of attack probably, and Miami's coming. But I also think Francis Maui-Noah, I don't know if he's their right tackle, so I don't know how many times they'll match up. But dude, I thought Maui-Noah played kind of sloppy against USF when I watched parts of that game and the Notre Dame game. I know he's a projected first-round pick, and he's been grading out pretty good against PFF. But listen, I don't think he's any better than Caden Proctor. And James Williams, got him off of his game enough to make, Ty Simpson, get some happy feet in the pocket, and that affected a lot of throws. So we keep our fingers crossed for that.
I hope so, man. And I really do like the kid. I know he's only been here for whatever, it's been 8 months, and so he doesn't have a lot of goodwill built up. I think he's a talented kid. I don't think Terrence Knight and Tony White talk him up if they don't think he's a talented kid. He's just never been this guy. He's never had to be this guy. He would come in Nebraska on 3rd and 11. That's what he did. He's got to learn to play every down. That was a wake-up call on Friday night in Charlottesville. Let's see how he answers it. He might not be, also, if he can't do it, if he can't set the edge, and they keep, kind of exploiting him, well, then your coach has got to make a change. As much as you like the kid, against a team like Miami, you can't be in 2nd and 4 the whole game. But he's due to make some plays.
Dollar bills, y'all.
It's a great question by this right here.
Never lose your nerd. Who would y'all rather see more than James Williams? They didn't have Diamante Diggs last week.
Yes, correct.
And that could have probably helped. That's an option as a coach, right? Like put somebody a little more girthy. Maybe that could help out in a play or two. Otherwise,
I'd rather see Andre Wadsworth, Jared Verse. I'd rather see Jared Verse than James Williams. Does that count? I would say Jason Jenkins is a guy that I thought I don't know why he only played 15 snaps in that game. We'll see if he's on the injury report because we didn't ask about him this week. I thought that was odd because I think he's just a guy. He's a 23-year-old man. And he's a big dude that's tough to move. Would have been tough for UVA's offensive line to move, but he's not a great pass rusher. And I just think they kept waiting for James to get home and make a play, and it didn't happen. And Ralph says there, Spartanol, Amaree Williams, he will be playing more over there now. I think Pittman coming back, Norvell even said as much, that with Pittman back healthy and scoring touchdowns all kinds of ways, that Amaree Williams will split more time evenly, it sounds like, on defense. And in pass rush situations, I don't mind 40 out there at all. I mean, he's still a little light on the edge, but so is James Williams. And Amaree Williams is an elite athlete. So maybe Amaree on passing downs, maybe Jenkins on running downs, early downs anyway.
Back to the injury thing. I would say I think Roydell, Boggs, and Wynn will probably be probable if I had to guess. I think Ashton Barker is going to be questionable.
Yes.
And that's a big deal. I mean, you definitely want him to be ready to go. Although I think Shaheem graded out, it seemed like pretty well in substitution.
And it's nice to have somebody like Shaheem as a backup, man. That guy's played a lot of football. That's a nice, and he's beaten Miami before in his career. So that's a nice guy to have as a backup.
Thank you, Never Lose Your Nerd. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to our guy over there in Clay County, man.
What?
$50 in the jar from Corey Bates.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you, man. Spelling it the right way, too. No offense to my other Corey, my
Corey.
no-E Corys.
Yeah. Would you rather a walk-off field goal to win or a Mario Cristobal classic game management blunder to help FSU win? Also, Cal mother flipping Raleigh. What'd the big dumper do? See all this week and go Knowles.
Just 60 homers.
Are the Mariners in the playoff?
Of course they are, Aslan. They're waiting. I think they play the Tigers. I think the Tigers won today. Oh, so shout out to Tyler Holton, former FSU Knoll, who's on the Tigers team and pitched in the – I know he pitched the 7th. He might have gotten it out in the 8th, too, and gave up a couple of base runners. I didn't while I was showering. After my – also did a tour of Florida Gulf Coast with Brady.
All right.
And he has no interest of going there at all, but we still did it. Who knows, man? It's a really cool – it's a pretty campus. But and I'm not. His dad isn't all that interested either. When they showed the difference between out of state and in state tuition, but yeah, Cal hitting 60 home runs, being one of the best defensive catchers in the game. I sure hope he wins the MVP. We'll see. It's a New York centric award, and Aaron Judge is awesome. So you can't really argue either way. But Aaron Judge can win 5 more. Cal Raleigh's never going to have a season like this again, so I hope they give it to him. I
feel like every week I'd watch Get Up in the morning, and there'd be something different about Cal Raleigh. Like first guy since to do like switch. I mean, just every single week he seemed to be setting some sort of new, kind of niche record.
Starting like the first guy leading the league in home runs to win the home run derby or something he did, and then it's like the first Mariners catcher and ever. And it's like, all right, then he became the switch hitter record, and then the catcher record, the switch hitter record. He made a run at Judge's all-time AL record. Just a great year. And to answer the question, Corey, I think most Florida State fans would want the field goal.
I want to walk off,
especially in the history of this rivalry. With the history of this rivalry, you absolutely want to walk off field goal. It'd be cool if they missed one. I'd rather that than the Cristobal game management thing.
Would you rather Florida State hit one to win the game or Miami miss one?
I want Miami to shank a 21-yarder.
Want them to feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. What's that? How'd that taste? The difference is they'll still make the playoff. It's just a loss. Back then, the season was over. Oh, sorry, Jerry. You missed that kick by 4 inches. Sorry, you can't win a national championship now.
Oh, man. We need you to pull back on your thorough knowledge of the dogs. Sydney Sweeney Fan Club. Corey, I'm sure you watch most of Carson Beck's games before this year, at least. If we can stop the run, can he beat us like a Ward or Winston could?
No. He's going to make some throws. He's got a good arm, and he is a talented kid. He's an NFL quarterback, but he's not. Those guys they're going to make the special plays. I don't see that with Carson Beck. If you give him time, he will pick you apart, and he is absolutely good enough to win this game and win a lot more games. But if they stop the run and they have in a bunch of 3rd and 12s, you like your chances. I'm not saying he can't do it, but he is not of that caliber. I mean, you're talking about, legitimately, those are 2 number 1 overall picks. Carson Beck isn't that, but he's still plenty good. But he is not of that ilk. He is not a Johnny Manziel, college Johnny Manziel, or a college Cam Ward or a college Jameis Winston. He's not that kind of caliber of player. And he's not going to make a bunch of dynamic plays with his legs.
And we got a real ball question in here. Might need to save that for another day, Kyle. But 954 legend is here. That's South Florida. Representa.
Dollar bills, y'all.
$10 in the jar. Thank you, 954 legend. Broward County, Florida. Very interesting avatar. Corey, you spent the offseason telling us Gus likes to have a bell cow, and so far, given it's only been versus 2 real teams, it's been a lot of touches for the running backs. What happened?
So is he asking, and thank you very much. He's asking, why isn't there one guy?
Well, real quick though, I think I also probably buttressed some of the comments that Corey made just about, like, listen, Trey Mason, Kerryon Johnson, RJ Harvey, like when he was kind of at his best running the ball, Gus, like he did have that guy, but he hasn't necessarily always had a guy like an NFL caliber running back. And not to steal your thunder, Corey, but I think right now, like, Chroma at some point, we think, but maybe doesn't have like that kind of caliber guy right now. So it's more about fresh legs and guys that might have better vision, or maybe they run better to the boundary, or little intricacies like that. I would assume that's the reason why we haven't seen one guy just kind of take over.
Yeah, and I kind of wasn't really expecting that this year. Honestly, I don't know if I said that in the offseason. That is what Gus likes, but this roster isn't equipped for that. I mean, he had to go get Gavin Sawchuk after the spring because he didn't really like what he had in the running back room. I think his two best running backs weren't here in the spring, Chroma and Sawchuk. And I just don't – they're not Trey Mason. Chroma might end up being, but right now you don't have one great guy. You have a bunch of pretty good. Chroma might end up being great, but right now they're all pretty good to pretty good. And when they're all pretty good, you're not – that isn't how a bell cow happens. Usually it's like one guy is so much better than all the other ones. Of course, I'm not going to waste 7 carries giving it to Smith. When old Mason's averaging 8 yards a touch, I'm going to have Mason have it all the time. He doesn't have one of those. So he is playing a lot of running backs. Keziah, God bless you, Keziah. Keep the faith, buddy. Jalen too. I am surprised, honestly, that Jalen Lucas hasn't been a part really the last 3 games at all. He's had 1 touch against Virginia. But yeah, I don't think this. I never thought this season and this roster, this running back room, set up for him to give a guy 300 carries. That just didn't seem like it was going to be the case. Maybe next year it's Chroma getting 25 carries a game or 22, 25 carries a game, but I was never thinking that ahead of time. Roydell, nice player. Sawchuk, nice player. Chroma right now is a nice player. He's not special right now, but you can see there's some stuff in there for sure where he could be. So yeah, I think that's more about it. It's a good room without a great player yet.
Well said. Young Bleak, what's y'all's keys to victory for this game?
Turnovers.
Yeah, protect the ball, make kicks. That's for me.
Get some, and don't give them any. That's too simple. It's too simple. Look, but it's
that's
the
what
truth.
A game's going to be like with 2 teams that are going to be playing this physical, that are going to be leaning on their running game so much. I feel like it's crazy. Like, all of you guys predicted scores in the 30s. Man, I think this is going to be this is like a race to 28. I feel like.
Well, that's close to 30.
I know, but like we had a lot of 35s. There wasn't like I think maybe Jeff did 30 to 27 or something like that. But there's some 35, 38s, and it's like, man, I'm keeping it a little lower. But
hey, hold on 1 second. I have to talk to my son. Brady, wave to everyone.
Brady, Florida Gulf Coast, man, Dunk City, man. Give it a thought, man. Come down to Florida. Go to school down here. It'll be all right. But yeah, they've got to protect the football. I mean, they cannot turn it over. If they don't turn the ball over against Virginia, that game is a blowout, and I don't know if 4.4 million people watch it. I shouldn't say it's a blowout. Florida State wins that game comfortably, probably, if they don't turn the ball over. So otherwise, yeah, man, it's the simple things that apply to every other game. Like, get home, pressure affect the quarterback with only rushing 4 guys. I think maybe if you use 5, I think if you drop 6, I take it back. You got to be able to get there with 4.
Nobody cares, Aslan. Where was I? So I was I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Sorry.
They're fine. Go ahead. I think Carson Beck is good enough that even if you bring 5 and you only drop 6, and he's got 3 receivers, a tight end, and a run, if he's got 5 options, like I think he'll find it. So it's crucial, I think, for them to be able to affect him with only a natural 4 guys rushing the passer. But that applies to any game that's being played anywhere this weekend.
And I don't know what you said, but look, man, I do think, because Miami is going to be, if it's not the best defense, it's one of the top 3 best defenses they'll face with Florida and Clemson. And sometimes you just need special guys to go do stuff. You just do. I think you have more special on offense than they do. I think their best players on the offensive line. I think their freshman wide receiver is going to be awesome. He's already really good. But I think Tommy Castellanos, if he can make those just dynamic, drive-changing, game-changing plays, and then I think you got an NFL wideout, and I think you've got an NFL tight end. And, You just hope that the crowd, you can make some game-changing type plays with the special dudes you do have on offense, and I think you do have a few.
Our guy Aaron P's back, and he brought Abe Lincoln with him. We appreciate that.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Mike versus Mario in a strategic situation. I take Mike. Tommy versus Carson Beck in a go be special moment. I take Tommy. I like those X factors, boys.
Yeah, Aaron, and I agree. I would say this, though, going back to what I was just saying. You don't want Tommy to feel like he has to be incredible, because that's when mistakes happen. You know what I mean?
Don't you think he went into Alabama after all he said, like, that check he wrote with his mouth, which he cashed tenfold? Shout out Tommy. Sorry. Apologize. I mean, do you think that maybe he needs that level of like accountability or like internal pressure on himself to really rise up and play great?
Let's hope it happens. But I mean, he's played in a lot of games. He's never played in anything like this. Even Alabama was not like this. I'm promising you. And he'll feel that energy, and he'll feel everything about that game. He's always going to think he's the best player on the field. And sometimes those guys, we watched it with Jameis, and obviously he's not as good as Jameis, but they feel like they have to go make plays, and they force things that aren't there. And sometimes it is okay to punt. And if he doesn't try to be Superman and is just himself, well, the special plays will come. But if he tries to be like super duper special quarterback, that's where it could get bad. And I don't think Carson Beck would ever try that. Carson Beck, for better or worse, knows exactly who he is. Also, like right now, I think they played a better schedule overall. Miami's offense has just kind of been okay. I think they're in the 60s in total offense. Like they have not proven to be anything incredible. They had 13 points against Florida at home in the fourth quarter until they put that game away. So this is not, again, this isn't the 2001 Miami offense rolling into town. You just worry about them being able to run the ball on you.
I'm sure they padded it against Bethune, but they're 29th in yards, 32nd in scoring.
Okay, but if you take away, I think that's the stat I saw. Like against FBS competition, they were in the 60s in total offense.
What are we doing, man? I mean,
Florida State just put up 515 on the top 25 team, Aslan, and they put up 200 rushing yards on the number 8 team in the country that's hosting game day this week.
I don't know Miami's coaches, so maybe I'm giving them too much benefit of the doubt. Just because it feels like when I listen to their assistants speak, it feels like there's a little more like authenticity, especially versus the head coaches from both programs. Like, Mike's not going to give you anything. Mario's even worse. Like Mario's like mean about it. At least Mike's like polite.
Right.
But Shannon Dawson, their OC, unless I think if you're a Miami fan, you believe this. And if you're a Florida State fan, you're probably whatever. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't know. It made sense to me, but I also think you pointed out that, as an offense, your goal is to move the ball and score points. But it was raining a lot during that Florida game. That offense is sputtering really, really bad. And I think they kind of just took the air out of the ball and were like, let's just hold on to it. Let's not do anything stupid and just kind of like get to the finish line. And we'll probably have more points than them if we don't do something stupid. And I get, like, you got Carson Beck. You went and spent $4 million on a guy that's
to be a game manager. That's not. And also, he did do something stupid because he threw an interception only up by 6 points and gave Florida the ball at midfield. It's just the Florida offense answered right back in the way it always does.
So, but I agree with the stuff on the screen there. Yeah, I mean, if it comes down to, having to do the math on a possession to get the ball back in a proper amount of time, like I trust Mike over that, but I might say push on Tommy and Carson Beck. I mean, Carson Beck's playing in really big games with a lot of consequence, and Tommy did too here and did a fantastic job. But I don't think it's that. I give an edge to Tommy. I don't think it's a slam dunk Mike over Mario. I think it's a edge Tommy to Carson Beck.
And both still have stuff to prove. Like, I feel like both are going to be playing with chips on their shoulder. Tommy hasn't done anything. I mean, he beat Alabama, great, but he's lost as many games as he's won as a starting quarterback or close to it. And Carson Beck would love nothing more to have a big performance on the road at the week after his former team lost to Alabama. So, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a fun game, though.
Shout out to our friends over at ridge.com. Go check it out. Use a promo code Warchant to save on your order. Stuff's legit. Not only looks good, functions well. I got the white. Let's go full shot on your guy Aslan here, everybody. I got the Monaco white. It's aluminum, so it's a little bit heavier than the titanium, Corey. So
Okay.
it's got stuff to it. I like that. We got everything fit in here. We got the credit card, the debit card, the insurance card, the Costco card, and I think my airport lounge card. Piece of cake, front pocket. It's got the money clip on it as well.
It's good enough for Brady Clark. Brady Clark has a Ridge, so you guys should too.
I got game over. Shout out to Corey for dropping that on us. That's the truth, everybody. I got to get all the proper stuff here in front of me, but Ridge backs everything up with a lifetime warranty. There's a 99-day trial period, so you can try it for almost over 3 months. And if you don't like it, you can return it. No problems asked, no questions asked. Free shipping as well. Step your wallet game up today. Get 10% off at Ridge with code WAKEUP at ridge.com/wakeup. 10% off your order. Do that. And then after you're done grabbing a wallet, you're going to be like, well, I need to stuff this thing filled. I need to stuff it with cash.
Mm-hmm.
Enter Corey Clark. Enter Underdog Sports. Yeah. Underdog Sports is an app. Go download it. And Corey, let's see if there's anything different here when it comes to the how come you won't pull up the Miami game, guys? It's got to be here somewhere. The Florida State Miami, we already cooked one up, but we're going to do another one if I can get there. If this thing would recognize, why are we not? The control
Thursday night game. You could do the Thursday night football game tonight. People want to make their money quicker. They don't want to have to wait 48 days to cash out.
Scrolling up. We're scrolling all the way up. All right. So the thing is, you got to make sure you pick one on each side. I don't know. Sam Houston State, New Mexico State. You feeling good, Corey?
No.
171 passing yards. Come on, Hunter Watson.
Higher on all of it.
Kadarius Callaway. Yeah, I don't know, Corey. I don't have the. What about Charlotte USF?
I'll be honest with you. I meant the NFL Thursday night game.
Oh, okay. All right. That even works better. We're a college game. I apologize. Oh, man. All right. So the Niners don't have Brock Purdy. They don't have Nick Bosa. They don't have George Kittle. They don't have Ricky Pearsall. They don't have Juwan Jennings. And then there's somebody else that's of import that they don't have. Christian McCaffrey, 60.5 rushing yards.
16?
60. Can you not
higher?
See?
Higher.
Yeah. Okay,
I can't see that, but higher.
Sorry. Puka Nacua, who apparently is
higher. Whatever it is, I don't care. Higher.
Receptions or yards? We can only pick one.
Yards.
Okay, 95.5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Higher. I wish Mac Jones had an interception number on him. Man, the Rams got Devontae Adams. Good for them. Blake Corum, Jared Verse.
Jared Verse. There you go.
We got Jared Verse. Sacks half or
Over.
tackles
Higher.
and assists 3.5.
Oh, definitely 3.5. Go higher on that. Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. See our guy Fisk is on here at all. Do we have a Fisk sighting? Any Fisk stuff? No. Golly, they don't do this for the college game. But anyways, I shouldn't have said that out loud. All right, there we go. We've got our picks in. I'm going to do the darn thing in front of everybody. I'm going to put 10 American dollars because I trust Corey Clark. I'm locking it in on the standard. If you want to do the flex, you could lose one and still be okay.
What are you going to win if you hit that?
$60. So that's a 6-to-1 payout. 6-to-1 payout. Thanks to our friends over at Underdog Fantasy Sports. Download the app today. Use the promo code Warchant. I got a lot going on here. Way too much for one human being. Download the app today. Sign up with the promo code Warchant to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. Again, promo code Warchant, Underdog Fantasy. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Disclaimer, you must be 18 or older, 19 or older in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado. For some games, 21 and older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Okay. Tony Greco. Corey, where was all the eye candy against Virginia? Seemed like every snap versus Alabama, there was some type of motion.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to complain about the way the offense played overall with when you take away those 3 drives, the first 3 drives, they were really, really good. And they were really good on the 3rd drive. It was just a bad interception. But yeah, I don't remember him doing it almost at all. But that's that question is above my pay grade because they did move the ball the way they ran their offense, and they had 258 rushing and 256 passing, so they moved the ball fine. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't do more of that. It's a great question. I don't know. They saw something else they wanted to attack, I guess, which was throwing it to Deuce Robinson.
If they don't do it against Miami, I'll ask on Sunday, Tony.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if it's just the type of defense they were going up against and why. I don't quite understand why that would matter. But also, the guy usually going in motion is Jalen Lucas, and they hate Jalen Lucas. So that's why.
Colin P. Showing some perseverance.
Dollar bills, y'all.
He was firing off a lot of questions, and then he's like, Aslan's not answering him. Let me put some money behind it.
There you go, Colin P. Smart.
Sorry. I like this one the most out of all your questions. I would have pulled this up at some point. You didn't have to pay us. We'd appreciate it, though. How sneaky big is the return of Kevin Wynn? How much of an impact do you think he makes this game, helping Darrell Jackson stuff the middle?
It could be big, but it's like if you would have asked me before the Alabama game what kind of impact are the Desir twins going to have this year, I'd have been like, man, none. Like, what freshman defensive linemen make a big impact, and then they've done what they've done. So it's just I'm not going to get – now I can't just, transition into Kevin Wynn and think he's going to do the exact same thing in his first game of his college career against this offensive line. Look good. I don't care how strong he is. It's his first college football game. And so maybe he's the next Timmy Jernigan. You hope he is, but we don't know. I do think over the course of the season, it's really, really important. But I don't know how much of an impact it's going to be this game because I don't know how many snaps you can expect him to play. I still don't think he's 100%. Clearly, he didn't play last weekend, and he's going up against that team and that offensive line, and he's a true freshman. But for all I know, he's going to have 5 tackles for loss and 2.5 sacks, which would be awesome. Wouldn't that be something? But for the course of the season, I think it's enormous because I think just the way they talk about him, he's going to be taking reps from people that aren't. He will now be taking reps from people that aren't as good as him. Like, there are guys that aren't as good as Kevin Wynn, in my opinion, that are playing. Those reps obviously go way down once he's healthy.
I need to pull this up here real quick. I don't have it up. Yeah, so
could have used them on Friday night.
I mean, KJ Sampson played 5 snaps.
Yep.
Daniel Lyons played 17.
Yep. Gonna need him to play better.
That's about it, man. I mean, they did not. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the extent of their interior defensive line. Was Mandrell this year had 27, KJ Sampson with 5 reps, Daniel Lyons with 17.
Yeah, that's why.
And then Darrell Jackson.
It is important for just to get that size and strength it's Darrell Jackson, a bunch of other guys in the middle. This guy, I don't think is just another guy. I think he's a real player. He's just young, but he's really strong. And he is going to help immensely throughout the course of the season. It's just hard to say because I haven't seen him yet how much it'll impact the game on Saturday. It's a fair question, though.
It's tough injury coming. I mean, I don't know how much he's been practicing here lately. First game is this, and we've been talking about how there's really nobody on this field that probably can understand the gravity, other than maybe Odell, of like what this game is going to feel like. And you tried an 18-year-old kid out there. I know he's strong, but maybe that's enough, right? Like maybe it's not going to be a lot of gap integrity. It's just like, hey man, just bull rush, collapse the pocket. And, I'm sure he can do that for you because he's rather strong. Strong understatement for what James B brings to the table, everybody.
Bang! Bang! What?
I really want to play the Herb Hand audio. It's been too long.
Oh, block somebody? No, they're blocking people though.
I know. We don't talk enough about that. I was going back and looking at the PFF numbers to see if the offensive line wasn't nearly as like physical and successful as we hoped they would be. And I think I think 3 out of the 5 guys graded out above 60, which is really all you can ask for. So
they're good, man. That's a good offensive line. He is a good coach.
Yeah. James B, $100 in the jar.
Thank you, James B.
Thank you. What's his avatar? I think it's like the new stadium. You got the spear.
Yeah.
I guess in the West Concourse is what we call it.
I bet he's not the only one that's rolling into town.
Yeah.
A day early, maybe. It's a good time to get to Tallahassee on a Thursday night, unless you're in Fort Myers at a travel baseball game.
What do they win if they win?
Nothing. Pride, and they're not going to win because they lost today. Tough loss too. They had a 2-0 lead going to the last inning and lost it 3-2.
Also, for the people that might be concerned out there, which is me projecting, like, is school out right now? Is there some sort of break right now from school, or are we missing a day?
Oh no, baby. No, we got priorities. We got priorities, man. Boy, school can wait. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna miss a test? The teacher will let you retake it. This is baseball. This is life. This is important stuff.
Ball is life.
There was a University of Miami scout there today, or at least he was wearing a Miami polo and had a Miami book bag and had a stopwatch, so it looked like it would be him. But he was only looking at one player, not on Brady's team.
All right. Yeah, we touched on it a little bit. He was saying, if you've already talked about it, but it seems a lot of people agree with me, James B, about James Williams.
Yep.
Let's go, Amaree. I don't know about that, man. I
just don't know that you can expect Amaree to do what James Williams isn't doing for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, but like that, my thing is, what do you think Amaree Williams can do better than James? Do you think he can rush the passer better than James Williams?
Maybe, and he might be able to. I mean, James doesn't have a sack yet either. You got to feel like Amaree, just because Amaree is a great athlete, period, that he might be a tougher guy to stay in front of on 3rd and 18, but we don't know that yet, and he hasn't practiced there a lot. He hasn't practiced a lot of defensive end yet in his career at Florida State. But, yeah, I think he's going to get more opportunities. He did play a handful of snaps against Virginia on passing downs. I would see that too. I think Williams is the biggest problem with Williams is what he's doing on 1st and 2nd down. That's got to be – and Amaree's not going to be playing a lot on 1st and 2nd down, I don't think. James Williams just has to play better. It's in him. I really do think it's in him. He's just got – but I guess I don't have really proof of that. But he has to play better. And maybe he's also never lived this life. Man, he was playing 14 snaps a game at Nebraska in a really good defense. He was like the 8th guy anybody would bring up when they talked about Nebraska's defense. Now he's like 1 or 2 on this defense, playing for a passionate fan base too, and one that has real stakes. And he's probably never lived this life of people questioning him and him being so important. So let's see how he responds to it. I have a suspicion he might respond well.
It was against Texas A&M East or whatever, man. James Williams.
Get it right. Hey, get it right.
East Texas
East
A&M.
Texas A&M.
57 pass rush snaps for James Williams, 10 pressures. Amaree Williams has got 1 pressure on 8 pass rush attempts.
Yeah, but
so even the percentages.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know why I have to sit here and cape for James Williams, and I'm not trying to dog Amaree at all. But again, let's give him maybe another game before we totally.
I definitely think Amaree's going to be in the plans a little bit more. Not only because of what they need a pass rush from their defensive line. I think they have like 3.5 sacks all season, or 4.5 from the defensive line. I mean, but also because Randy Pittman's back, and you don't need a 4th tight. I mean, you already got Landon Thomas. You don't need a 4th tight end.
All right, last one. I got
as much as you need a dynamic defensive end, which hopefully he is.
All right, I gotta take this puppy out.
This last one, yeah,
last one. Sydney Sweeney's fan club, $5 in the jar.
Dollar bills, y'all.
I'm getting angry, Corey. My guy James Williams. Sydney Sweeney fan club, $5. Who's the offensive player of the game that most guarantees us a win besides the quarterback? He thinks Mekhi Danzy has to be the guy.
Okay, it's a fair. The beauty of I really can't answer this. It's a fair question. I don't know that there is one. That's the beauty of this offense. There's a bunch. There's literally like 7 names that jump to mind. What if Cromal has a big game? What if Squirrel White actually makes an impact, which I think is bound to happen here soon? Deuce is Deuce. Like that seems like the easiest answer. Then there's the tight end. And then, Danzy's a good one. I'm going to keep harping on my man, Jalen Lucas. I know he's not going to get a ton of touches, but give him a few. Give him a few. So that's the beauty is there's 6 or 7 guys, Danzy being one of them, that could go off and have a couple of huge plays. Game-changing type plays. Sawchuk leads the ACC in touchdowns, and I didn't even mention them. So hopefully Danzy's a financer. He is a good, even in that game, although that crazy not fumble happened. I mean, that's a 25-yard play if he catches it because the cornerback's so scared to death to cover him. He's 30 yards off him. He just almost handed the ball to him. And then he still had a 30-yard play because he's Mekhi Danzy. That's what he does. So that's a good answer. I go back. I'll say yes, Danzy.
And to answer Ms. Palalis' question, no reason to think that Squirrel White, but we had a question about whether Squirrel White's still fielding punts. We heard Squirrel is fine. He survived the onslaught of humanity that trampled over the field at Scott Stadium. And he had like a 25-yard punt. He had a pretty good punt return early in the
the
first
half. He caught the first one too.
He's good. And then Jake, make a kick, man. And I'm not blaming. There's no blame from last week, but probably gonna have to make a kick on Saturday.
Loved that he made the kick in overtime. Didn't end up mattering, but that's the most pressure-packed kick he's ever had. And he was coming off a miss, and he drilled that thing. Good kick.
Shout out to Sydney Sweeney Fan Club. Shout out to all the other folks that got involved. Hit the thumbs up on the way out, everybody. Thank you to Ray Pereira. Thank you to Aaron. Thank you to Corey Bates. Thank you to Never Lose Your Nerd 954 legend. James B. Colin P. Tony Greco. And everybody. And our guy Andrew back there getting all the questions lined up for me. Check out warchant.com. It's only $1 to subscribe. And you also get a year membership to The Athletic. It's worth it. If you're a student, it's absolutely free to subscribe to warchant.com. Email us at support@warchant.com from your fsu.edu email address. All the things that we got to do. Meet and greet Friday, 5 p.m. Pregame show, 4:30. Saturday, meet and greet, 4 p.m.
Hotel
Indigo. Yep. Warchant wrap afterwards. Post-game show with Tom Lane, Gene Williams, 10 to 15 minutes after the Noles storm the field in Doak Campbell Stadium. And Warchant reports out there. Matchup analysis is out there. The puppy's here. Yeah, it's fine. It was fun. Vitamin Energy. Don't be scared. All right, we're done. Corey, good luck to Brady out there. Tell him to stay planted or whatever.
Yeah, I will. And everyone have fun this weekend. Win or lose, hopefully a win. It's going to be a really fun Saturday night in that stadium. I'm really looking forward to it.
Have a great one, everybody. He's Corey. Check out Vitamin Energy, vitamin.com, warchantbogo, the promo code. First 3 people who order 2 or more boxes get one of the new Nike Polos. Do it, everybody.